Hello, and welcome back to Bad Lit Friends, the writing podcast that barely knows what it's doing. I'm your host, Kirk Rafferty, and this is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Meagan Thompson-Mann.
And this is Season 2, Episode 2.
Wow.
How are we feeling about that?
I mean, still basking in the glory of our made-up Spotify awards, which
Yes.
I occasionally bring the graphic up for from time to time and stroke the screen lovingly to remember
Of
that,
course.
we're kind of a big deal now.
We
No, we're
are.
not.
We are in a very small pond. We're very small fish.
We're quite small. But that's okay. What we lack in size, we make up for in complete and utter delusion. So cool. Very good.
Yes, absolutely. So today, you want to tell us what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about comps.
Yes.
Yes.
The dreaded comps.
Nobody likes to get comps. But we're going to talk a little bit about what a comp is, why you need comps, even though you don't want to get them, how you can find good ones, what you can do to not get stuck in a trap reel. I can't find any comps.
Yes. My
You can
book
find
is so
comps.
unique and special that nothing comps to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're thinking that, I mean, it's that you're not understanding how to find them. They exist. It's that we get in, without giving too much away, we get this idea that comps have to be one-to-one analogs.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Because if that's true, you've just rewritten Stephen King's It. And maybe you didn't want to do that. We will talk about how you can find it. So how's the writing going?
My writing is boy, it is stumbling along. I have made tiny incremental process. I've realized that my main character needs a little bit more oomph. I'm pausing to kind of rewrite this character a little bit better, to make them more interesting and a little less flat. They feel pretty flat to me right now, and so I'm gonna work on that. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm kinda playing around with my characters. What about you?
So I not this past weekend, the weekend before, I actually paused on book 2 to go back to book 1 to finish almost incorporating all of the feedback I got from the wonderful Laura B. Shout out to Laura B. Thank
Friend
you.
of the show?
Friend of the show, amazing beta. She had just the best feedback. And I'm nearly done putting it all in. It was really good. I didn't know that there were still creepy crawlies under the rocks, but there were. I'm getting rid of them. And then this past weekend was with a lot of my wonderful high school friends. It was our mutual friends' celebration of life in Los Angeles, and we were all together in one place and crying and laughing and dancing and drinking and eating tacos and listening to lots of music. And it was both wonderful and horrible at the same time. It's always interesting to find that your teenage self still exists within you. And although apparently I smile a lot more now, which is good. So I was a bit sulky in high school. It's true.
Were you emo?
There was no email back then. I think all you need to know about me is that I listened to the Smiths a lot.
There
So
you go.
I wore black on the outside because black is how I felt on the inside. This remains true in 2026. So, but that's fine. So, but I'm getting back to it. This coming weekend, I'm going to make those last changes and I'm going to continue querying. So I got some new people to add to the list. All good.
All right. Let's talk comps.
Woo. Yeah. So, Mr. Rafferty, what are comp titles?
So comps that's an abbreviation for comparison titles. And, in a nutshell, it is an existing book. Sometimes we use movies as comps too, but the big advice that I've heard is, look, you're querying a book. You should have at least 2 book comps, right? So if you're going to do a movie comp, make sure that you also do literary comps. So they are comparison titles. They have similarities to your book in terms of genre or style, tone, theme, audience, or maybe just general vibes. And So you're not looking for what you've written on the shelf. Hopefully, you don't find that. That would be awful. What you're really looking for is just something that can give an agent an idea of what books your book might sit next to on a shelf.
Mhm, mhm, yeah, and you use them in query letters, you use them when you do pitches, if you do in-person pitches, if you do online pitches. Not all online pitches involve comps, but every one that I've done in person, I have had comps. And because the agents expect to see them, because they expect to see them in your query letter. It's a very important part of your
Mhm.
query letter. And it's so that they know where to place your book. It shows that you understand the market for your book. It shows them that you understand that your book can be sold because other books that have some sort of similarity, and we'll obviously talk more about what those kind of similarities are, but other books have been sold like that. It's a shortcut, right? It shows
Right.
who your target audience is. It shows that people want to read this kind of book because other people have wanted to read this kind of book.
Mhm.
So it's a shortcut for agents and editors. It is a right royal pain in the ass for writers until they crack the puzzle.
Yeah.
And it is, everybody thinks my book is so special and important and there's nothing like it. So there's no comparisons allowed to this beautiful, beautiful tome.
Yes. And you know what? And we've all had that thought, I think,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
nothing compares to this. But you need to kinda get real with your novel
Mhm.
because there is a comp book. And really, if there truly is nothing that compares to your book, you have written an unsellable book.
Probably yes. Probably yes. Yeah.
So having said that, I seriously doubt that you have written a book that nothing comps to.
Yeah.
You just kinda need to, roll up your shirt sleeves and get to
Yeah.
work on figuring it out.
And that is not to say that you didn't write an amazing novel or
Mhm.
like a very unique thing.
Mhm.
It just means that you wrote one beautiful book that you now are you're either trying to sell to an agent or you are trying to sell to readers if you're going an indie route. And so if you're going the indie route, your readers are going to want the shortcut too. Like I liked X. Okay, I'll give this one a shot. So it's not for you. It's for everybody else. It can seem like a mystery, but it doesn't have to be. I will say this as somebody who really struggled with comps. So let's talk some basics. How many comps are you looking for?
Generally, you're looking for 2 to 3 comps. I would even lean on 3 comps. If you really can only find 2, then okay, but, I think 3 is really ideal.
Mhm,
They should be from traditionally published books. I mean, there are a few kind of breakout self-published books, but you wanna be really careful if you do that. A lot of agents really are focusing on traditionally published books. If you come up with a comp, no matter how good it is, that is a self-published book, the chances are that the agent just doesn't know that book.
mhm,
Not that an agent is always going to spot your comp book and say, "Oh, yes, of course I've read that one." But there are gonna be agents that have not read your book. They most likely have heard of it because they are steeped in the
mhm.
industry. But if you're looking for traditional publishing, you should look for traditionally published comp titles.
Yep.
They should be published within the last 3 to 5 years, and the reason for this is it lets the agent know that you are well-read within your genre, and it lets them know that you are up to date in your
Mhm.
genre.
Yep.
So, if you've just written a fantasy novel and one of your comp books is Return of the King, like
Wait, it always okay, I'm gonna tell you 2 things about Bad Lit Friends, okay? One is capitalism is the root of all evil and is everything that's wrong about traditional publishing and indie publishing. And number
yes,
2, Tolkien is everywhere and you should not go there, you know? It's just like just
you can always count on me to come up with a Tolkien reference
I know.
somehow.
We're not gonna talk about Tom Bombadil this time,
That's
I
right.
promise.
If you were to comp a Tolkien book, what this is going to tell the agent is, okay, you are perhaps well read within your genre, but you are not up to date within your genre. The book that you are querying, the first thing they're going to think is it probably reads like it was written in the 1950s. So that's not what you want to sell. So you want your book to be published within the last 3 to 5 years. I would even say within the last 3 years. If you're going into that 4 to
Yeah.
5 year range, you're really stretching it a bit, but you're probably still okay.
Yeah, I just cycled one out that hit, I kind of on the like, around 4 years,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I realized, like, okay." I mean, it's a great book, but I realized that there's plenty of other ones, more interesting ones, so don't you're not wedded to them, and you shouldn't be wedded to them. They need to change. It needs to be a dynamic list. I think another thing that we need to point out here is that you want your books to be successful, but you don't want them to be blockbusters. Like,
That's correct, yeah.
whatever the current equivalent of the Da Vinci Code is. I don't read commercial fiction very much, so I don't know what the current Da Vinci Code is, but if they are too big, your comp says almost nothing about your own book because that book is so big that it blots out nuance. It's like Da Vinci Code. I know everything about that, but everybody's read it. So I don't know what is it? Is it the style? Is it the tone? Is it the setting? It could be anything. But on the other hand, you don't want it to be too small because, as Kirk said, agents or readers may have no clue what that book is.
And
So
something kind of on the practical terms of querying. Even if you think, well, my book really does compare very, very well to the Da Vinci Code, so I'm going to use it. You are not alone. And in that same slush pile, there are dozens of other authors who are also comping the Da Vinci Code. And so, what is an agent to do when you tell them it comps to the Da Vinci Code and these 15, 20, 30 other query letters are also comping to the Da Vinci Code?
yeah,
You've just been lost in the noise.
yeah, yeah.
So, in
Yeah.
terms of pure practicality, don't do it.
It's a time to show your flair. It's
That's right.
put on your special buttons. Like, look at me. I'm so special. It is don't miss it. It's a time to find the thing that elevates your letter out of that slush pile.
Right.
And I know we're gonna talk a little bit more later about our own experiences, but I'm just gonna throw it in here. So when I first started querying, it was before I was properly querying, I was pitching. And the reaction that I got to when I thought I knew how to do comps, to the books that I chose, which were correct in terms of how old they were, but they were not
Mhm.
well-known books. And it was like, "Huh, I've never heard of that book." And it
Right.
was lack of connection. Compared to the last time I pitched in person, the ones that I said, she would, "Oh, I love those books." And there you go. I mean, there's a level of enthusiasm that you can create and engender
Mhm.
simply by having a good comp, which, of course, we are going to teach you how to do. Or we're going to teach you a way to do it. Again, Bad Lit Friends makes no promises about the efficacy of anything that it suggests that you do.
0 guarantees.
Absolutely none. So, like, let's talk about that too big to comp problem.
Mhm.
So I made a list. I do like my lists of some books that are too successful to comp now, of course, and not just for many reasons, not just because it's too old. Harry Potter. Harry Potter's
Yeah.
not a good one. For any number of reasons, including political ones,
Yes,
and
yes.
including ones that have to deal with human dignity.
Problematic is a word that comes
Yeah,
to mind.
problematic, yes. Bridgerton, any of the Bridgerton books,
Mhm.
they're too old now, but also they are a cultural juggernaut, and it says almost nothing. Court of Thorns and Roses, again, a little too old, but just too big because it crowds that space to the point where some of the nuance that is in other books,
Mhm.
you're missing the opportunity to kind of tap into that. Anything by Colleen Hoover, and that's not just on a taste level by me. And Where the Crawdads Sing, which was it's a little old now, but also it is too big in that women's fiction subgenre. Anything that is a cultural phenomenon. Anything that your grandma, who doesn't read a lot, has heard of, maybe that's stupid.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's a
So
great litmus test too.
yeah. Yeah. Did your great aunt Sue, who I'm not much of a reader, has she heard of it? Then you probably don't want that. It says nothing about your book to choose one of these books. It says everything about the books that those books actually are. And it also can sound a little bit delusional. Like, my book,
Seriously.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the next ACOTAR. It's the next blah.
Yeah.
So
Let's say you compare your book to The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins.
mhm,
What you are telling the agent is that my book is going to be a cultural phenomenon for well over a decade, and it's going to sell in the millions. That may be true. You may be one of the very tiny fraction of authors that manages to pull off what Suzanne Collins pulled off. Probably not.
mhm,
And you're just setting yourself up with some very kind of false expectations. I mentioned everybody else is going to be comping that whatever big cultural phenomenon. So set yourself apart.
yep. Wear those flare buttons. Let's talk about finding comps. Probably the number one first thing you want to do is you want to start with looking at what genre you're writing in. Now, maybe you've written a crossover, in which case you've got a couple of genres to think about. But first of all, you need to be writing in a genre that you are familiar with. That we've talked about that many times before. You need to look at the books that you liked in that genre, the ones you loved. You need to look for what's just come out. Uh, and read it or not read it, but get a sense of what it is. Have a look. This is one of the great things about look, Amazon sucks. Again, capitalism comes to bad lit friends. Amazon does suck. But what it does is it allows you to do the look inside.
That's
And,
right.
it is all sorts of delights and mysteries lie inside. And you'll get a chance to see the flavor of the book. You may very well want to buy it then or get it from the library and read it then or read it at your leisure, but you know that could be something. Also, remember, as far as Kirk and I are aware, there are no tests. The agents are not going to ask you to do an oral book report on
That's
your
right.
comps.
That's right.
So you can fudge it a little bit sometimes.
I mean, I would say familiarize yourself with the book, like at
Yes.
least understand the plot. I don't know. Maybe if there's a Cliff Notes out there or something, like go get the Cliff Notes.
Or, read a decent review in a literary magazine or supplement that you actually trust.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll put some in the notes of where I find good stuff. Not all of it is highbrow, I will warn you, but get a sense of what people are reading,
Mhm. Yep.
and then you start getting deeper. One of the best places to look is Goodreads. If you liked X book, you might like Y book, or readers who liked book Q also liked all of these other books. And there are lists that users create in genres and subgenres, things that they liked. There are genre shelves that exist on there. Look, you're going to find stuff that's really old. I mean, this is the problem with Goodreads and using this tactic is that a lot of stuff that you will find is really old. That's okay.
If you're not enthusiastic about Goodreads, there's Storygraph, which
Yeah,
is
I
a
just found out
newer
about it. Yeah.
service that people are kind of slowly moving over to.
Yeah. Yeah. I have not I've looked at the website. I have not actually used it. Not that I actually use my Goodreads account for reviewing anything. Partly out of terror that someday I will publish my own book and then people will say, "Oh god, look at all Meagan's trash takes about everything." Like I didn't read this book, but I can just tell that it sucks. So book talk is another idea. Bookstagram. There are always people talking about what they are reading in your genre. Have a
Mhm.
look at what people are reading right now. And some of those will be garbage comps, and some of them will be good ones or close to it. And every one that you get, every lead that you get, just pull at the thread. See if there's anything that you can find a similarity between your book and that book. You're going to find threads in all of these for books that could be very close to what you're looking for. Also have a look at award lists for
Mhm.
debut novels in particular, because you might have never have heard of some of these books, but if they're on a list, they've been paid attention to.
Yeah.
Um,
And agents' manuscript wish lists, give those a look too, especially on the, MSWL website. Actually, okay, I'm gonna go into a rant here for a second.
Go, please. We
Okay,
need
so
rants.
literary agents, join me over here on camera 3. Update your manuscript wish list comps. Like,
Please.
the section that says, "Here's the kind of comps that I'm looking for." You are terrible about keeping those updated. I constantly find books that are 7, 8, 9 years old.
Mhm.
So, if you expect that of your submitting authors, please expect it of yourself too.
Yes.
Because we would actually like to see, there's something cool about seeing a book that you're comping on an agent's manuscript wish list.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
do
e
that.
especially when it's your special flair button comp that you're like, I never see anybody else or rarely see people comping to this,
Right,
and
right.
they've got it, and you're like, "Oh,
End of
we
rant.
end of rant. Thank you very much." So, as we said, you are not looking for exact matches. You will not find them. Do not torture yourself trying to find them.
Mhm.
What you're looking for are similarities in tone, in character types, in themes, in settings, in voice. If you are a crossover writer between genres, look for other people who have written crossovers of those
Yeah.
2.
Crossover genres are having a moment, so
They
those should
Mhm.
be easier to find.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing I always like to think is if I saw my book on a table at Barnes and Noble, what would be the other books on display around it? Not just like new releases, but if there was a themed table, what would the books be? And you
And you
can
can't say and you can't say Funko Pops.
you could.
I mean, I would love my book to be surrounded by Funko Pops, but
Yeah,
you
of your
can't
character.
comp
Yeah,
them.
yeah. No, 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 no. But that kind of works in multiple ways as well. So, like, what would those themes be? Like, if I were think, okay, let's
Mhm.
say I've written one of these subgenres that if my book ever made it to Amazon, it would probably have a subgenre for domestic fiction. So, what are the books in domestic fiction that it would be around? Or what if I'm thinking about it in terms of the setting, it's set in New England. What other New England books in my target year range and in my genre are there out there? So you can think of all sorts of different, snazzy table designs that the folks at Barnes& and Noble or at your local indie bookshop.
Even you ask the staff.
Yeah.
So if you've got your pitch written, of course you do. The staff at my Barnes& and Noble anyway are so friendly. I talk to them all the time,
Mhm.
not in a creepy way. I hope not in a creepy way. They're always happy to talk book stuff, and, I've not done this myself, but I can see where you could say, "Listen, I'm an author, I'm, pitching agents, here's my pitch. Can you think of any books that have, the vibe, the setting, the genre, things like that?" If you're embarrassed to do it, these people don't know you. They don't know where you live.
Yeah,
They're not gonna show up to your house and mock you, so just do
probably
it.
not. Probably
I mean,
not.
probably not. Okay, 1 time, but
We don't talk
okay,
about that.
twice,
We
but
also don't
yeah.
talk about that. So if you are going to test if your comp title is appropriate, you have some questions to ask yourself. I thought that maybe we could work on one of the ones I recently chose because I've been revamping my list. So the one that I chose to replace, actually the book that I chose to replace it with is very recent, but this is the more recent volume in a so far 2-book series with the same characters.
Do you want
So
me to ask the questions?
yeah, ask me the questions.
Okay,
Let's do it.
excellent. So, your new comp title, you wanna give me the,
Sure.
title and author?
Yes. So the title is Wreck, and the author is Catherine Newman.
Okay, and was Rec published within the last 3 to 5 years?
It was published within the last 3 to 5 months.
Okay, okay. Excellent. And it's traditionally published?
Yes,
Okay. Is rec within your genre or at least close?
very close
Okay.
is upmarket women's fiction and even upmarket contemporary women's fiction. So basically, with a strong theme of domestic issues within. So that, yes, it's
Okay.
very close.
Excellent. Is this comp successful, but not too successful?
Yes, absolutely. And this book had a big launch and it has a lot of reviews on Amazon, a lot of reviews on Goodreads already.
Mhm.
But outside of this sphere, I don't know how many more people will know about it.
Okay, so is it safe to say that Great Aunt Sue probably has not heard of this?
She hasn't, but she should read it.
I feel like Great Aunt Sue needs to read more. That's what I
Yeah,
feel.
she needs to stop watching Love Island, and
Yeah.
my favorite I actually haven't watched it yet, but I am thinking about watching it, Suddenly Amish, which just premiered.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So,
We need to have an intervention with Great Aunt Sue.
I know, should have happened a long time ago, but yes.
Final question. Can you articulate to yourself why they're comparable?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 1, genre, almost complete match. I would say 95% match. Number 2, the subject matter, while absolutely not the same, has some similarities.
Mhm.
So it is a woman in middle age dealing with some family and interpersonal bullshit. So that is similar. Also,
That's actually on the jacket too, isn't it? That she's
yes,
dealing with some bullshit.
some bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, setting. Setting is also in New England, strangely enough. And also, it mixes something that I think that I have in my book, which is while it deals with some heavy shit, there is a lightness to the prose that there's always sunlight peeking in.
Mhm.
The main character is less does less deflection than mine does, but while things are serious, you always kind of know that this person is integrated as a person. So there was a book. The book that came before this one is called Sandwich. It's a fantastic book. Catherine Newman has created these characters and she decided she wanted to write another book about them, which I love, which is something that I'm trying to do right now too.
Mhm.
And when I was like, I bet the next book is going to be right on target. Absolutely was. So yeah, I mean, this was a perfect comp.
Yeah, yeah, this you really got lucky with this one.
Let's do some red flags,
Mhm.
like you're a red flag to yourself. So, if you're doing obviously something that's more than 5 years old, you better have a damn good reason, and there better be other ones around. There better be other comp titles that you mention that
And
are
even if you
recent.
have a damn good reason, get rid of it anyway.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, you could put in the Silmarillion, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
And if you are doing that, here's a tip. Okay, if you're doing that and you're like, I gotta put the Silmarillion in, well, you don't. But go to Goodreads, go to Storygraph, see what readers who liked the Silmarillion, bless your
Mhm.
hearts,
Mhm.
are reading, what they're reading, what they've rated, what they like, because you will find recent stuff that has some sort of connection.
And you know what? It'll probably be a recently published Brandon Sanderson.
And then you have another problem. Then you have a problem of it's too big.
Right.
So, look, I mean, I don't really read fantasy at all. I know who Brandon Sanderson is. So I'm
Yeah.
Aunt Sue here, and because I love Suddenly Amish. But, or you're looking in the wrong genre.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, I would not comp a book that was like a hard-boiled detective noir book, even if it's the right age, even if there are middle-aged women doing really stupid shit, it doesn't fit because you would not have these 2 books on a table next to each other unless the theme was middle-aged women doing really stupid shit in New England. But,
Yeah.
in one, there's a dead body and, in the other one, the death of the soul. Stay in your genre, but if you can't explain it to anyone besides, "I like this book and I think it's cool," then you got a problem.
Yeah.
Again, let's have a moment of capitalism. Let's go to capitalism. Why you're doing this because you need to show that you know what your market is so that you're not totally delulu and your agent will be able to think of a way to sell your book.
Right.
Yep, that's it.
Your agent has to sell a book to an editor, who has to sell it to a publisher, who has to sell it to a bookstore, who then has to sell it to a consumer.
To
So
Aunt Sue,
that's right.
because now you've gotten her to read. Okay, where do comps belong in a query letter? That's my question to you.
So there are two schools of thought. One of them is that it should go in the beginning, and one of them is that it should go towards the end. You're not wrong either way, but they typically go towards the top because you're giving that info to the agent. Like that's one of the first things they're going to see. So the, you're setting some expectations.
Mhm.
So if you've got you know, X meets Y, and they're looking for X meets Y, then in their mind, you've already met one of their expectations.
Mhm.
Cool. You get to pass go. And
Yes,
so then the next thing they're going to read is your hook,
which is your world.
which
So
is your world.
I'm never not gonna go there.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
So it shows that you know why your comp is a comparison title. Or you could do, as Kirk said, X meets Y or perfect for fans of X meets Y. But if you do that, you probably want to explain a little bit more why it's perfect for fans
Hmm.
of X and Y. So or mention specific elements, which is what I've done in the past, is specific elements of the books that I was comping. And it shows that you understand again your book and that capitalism sucks and it has to be sold.
It also tells the agent why your book comps, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if you just say my book comps well to Wreck by Catherine Newman,
Mhm. It
and
says
then
nothing.
move on, it means nothing to them,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yep.
what specifically about Catherine Newman's book does
Yeah.
it comp to? So,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
you wanna be pretty explicit about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you don't wanna do is give a really, as Kirk just said, just really broad brushstrokes. Don't do the, like, "This is going to be the next greatest book in the world," just like the book title that we cannot say, or The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games, that's
That's one
our
that we can't say. That's gonna be our new one.
fill in.
Yeah, yeah. So don't say, like, you can say things like, My book blends the atmospheric dread of Mexican Gothic with the family secrets of the lying game." Like, that's a decent kinda way to go it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that, I'd read that.
I would too. So, or, perfect for readers who love the sharp dialogue of people we meet on vacation, which I did read and I actually really liked, and the small town setting of Every Summer After. So you know that this is a contemporary romance. Okay. What you don't want is to say that kind of romance thing. Fans of romance will love this. What kind of romance are we talking about? Are we talking about Amish romance? I'm thinking a lot about the Amish right now. Amish romances? Are we talking about clean romances? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, if you say fans of genre will love my book, you've just lost.
Wear your flair. It's a good opportunity. So, what lessons do you think you learned along the way to becoming so great at getting comps? Like, what are your top tips?
I think that, the biggest lesson that I really learned was to know my genre.
Mhm.
My first query letter, I was a little bit fuzzy on the genre of the book that I had just written,
Me
no
too.
kidding.
Me too.
And my comps reflected that.
Mhm.
And so I wish I could go back in time and retract those first, like, 50 maybe not 50, like 30. Those first 30 query letters, if I could just retract them. They were bad in other ways, but also comps.
I think my biggest lesson learned, besides the fact that this isn't so hard when you start understanding how to do it, is that it will take time. That I
Mhm.
needed to be patient. That it isn't the work of a half an hour. It's and also that it's work that isn't ever quite done because comps will age out or better titles will come to market. When
Yeah,
I say better, I mean more closely aligned or say something about your book that you weren't able to have said about your book because of what the comps were. And I will say this as somebody who just had to get new comps before Rec magically appeared in my lap. I was like, I can't do this. I mean, I know how to do this, but I can't find anything.
right.
Have I lost my touch? No, it was just that I was getting frustrated with myself because it wasn't happening quickly. I was like, I know how to do all of this, so why is it taking so long? It's just going to take as long as it takes. And along the way, you're going to find some great books to read, which its own reward. So that comps suck and are painful, but you get to read cool stuff. So let's do some hot goss.
Let's do it.
Okay. So we go back to threads
Of
where
course we do. Of course we do.
of course we go to threads because that's where the worst decisions people make about posting things online about writing and books generally tend to appear, except for Twitter, and I don't go there anymore. So I don't know. Maybe there's some worse stuff, probably, but I don't care. Threads is awful, but at least it's a relatively safe space to be angry in. So I got angry. I got very angry. And then I got Kirk angry, which is great. It's always good. So
I'm such
this
a sucker.
I know. So this was, in general, the topic. If you don't buy my book, we're not friends anymore, so there. It kind of just boils down to that. That is our mission statement right now. Do you agree with this, Kirk Rafferty?
It's such a no, I don't agree with this.
Okay, good.
I just the nuance, my god, if there could be nuance.
There is no
The
nuance.
nuance here really is my friendship should mean so much to you that you just need I expect that you will buy my book, and if obviously our friendship means nothing if you don't buy my book.
Yes. I thought I
That's the
knew you.
nuance. That's a as far as I could determine, that was as deep as that nuance
It was,
went.
and this misguided soul doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and many more times down
Yeah.
on this. And of course, we don't know what the entire universe of comments may have looked like at one time because I definitely saw comments there that disappeared. So there were people who agreed with her, like, it's just what writers have to do to support each other. Okay,
Mhm.
we should support each other, but we don't it doesn't say anything about our friendship. Maybe you don't have the money that month. Maybe, you're like, "Why should I buy a book just that I'm not gonna read just to let it be on my shelf?"
Do you also think that it implies that the author is checking? Like, are they
Yes.
polling their friends? Am I gonna receive a text message out of nowhere? "Did you buy my book? Yes or
Yeah.
no?"
Yeah, is
And then I'm blocked if I say not yet.
do you have a Google form that you track this in?
I know
It
that
is
you require your friends to fill out.
it is I don't understand it. It is when she tried to explain herself, she said, "We're not going to say this person's name because she is not a well-known writer, and we are not gonna link to the thread in particular because it's embarrassing enough."
Mhm.
I am going to quote directly from one of her comments, which was, "I don't expect them to read it. I expect them to buy it to support me because it matters to me and I'm supposed to be their friend." Most of us are adults here, and we can show our friendship and our love in ways that do not involve commerce. Again, capitalism comes for BLF. And why should you? It's such a transactional mindset that
Yeah.
the only way to express support for your incredible creative endeavor is to spend money. But there's so many other ways to do it. For example, if you're the writer and you have kids, maybe that friend will take the kids for the night so you can do some writing, be with your partner, go to a movie on your own, whatever. That's a way of supporting your writer friend without buying the book. Why? Or you can say, or you can review, you can link on your social media like, "Hey, buy my friend's book."
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Get it to the readers. Get it to the people who want to consume it.
It is just it's such a baffling position to take. I feel I've had 2 friends now that have written books, one traditionally published, one self-published, and I did buy those books, and I did it as an act of friendship.
Mhm.
I also did it because they were good books. I didn't feel obligated to buy these books, and I would feel pretty bad if the authors of these books felt like I should be obligated. Like, that would be
Mhm.
weird. That would just be that would be weird.
Yeah. It is a bit it is
So, yeah, I
yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna say this controversial opinion one more time.
please.
Social media is not good. It's making us dumb. I don't think this person would stand up in the middle of a room and say this. So, let's say there's a universe where we invited this author onto Bad Lit Friends,
Mhm.
and we asked them before they had ever posted it, and we asked them, "Should your friends be obligated to buy your book?" I think the answer would be different. Not that I don't think that she's being honest in her opinion. I just think it's one of those social media moments where we go fucking crazy and just say shit.
Yeah.
And then we hold on to it like a life raft. Like, that's part of us now. That is a defining characteristic of us now, of this author. This author going forward may even sit on a panel one day and profess this belief because they started it on social media.
Own it. You gotta own it or you gotta apologize, and, that's your choice. I think it was disturbing for me to see someone who's, in our community, which is a really, for the most part, supportive space. We're trying our best to show up for each other. And then to have someone say, "Well, if they don't buy my book," I believe she said something like, "I'll just let the relationship slowly wither away."
Yeah,
And I thought,
and
"Oh,
that's
that's
sad.
shit." Like, are these your real friends or are they, just your online buddies? Because if it's your, like, r in real life friends, man, that sucks. I'm sorry, it is
Mhm, mhm.
in general, take an attitude of it takes all sorts, and I really don't care about what other people, about a lot of bad decisions that people are making that don't hurt people that I love or
Yeah.
hurt me. But as you said, like, social media is shit. It's making us meaner, more petty, um, and also treating, like, every single one of the stray thought farts that kinda waft by us are worthy of
Mhm.
expression. Most of them are not.
Right.
Most of them are not worth
Most of the time,
anybody
that thought would just you'd never think it again after 30 seconds. But it's so easy now. The thought enters your head, you're on your phone, you're typing away, and boom, it's out there in the world before it ever had a chance to just
Yeah, yeah.
leave your head and good riddance.
It's like and a lot of them come out of a moment of frustration. Right? And where you're just feeling really frustrated with a situation in your life. And instead of doing this is my top tip when you have the urge to write something really shit and dumb on the interwebs, I have a document that has these thoughts in them. And I write it in there and I let it be. And if I come back to it and I think, actually, that's not as shit as I thought, I'll probably think about it again and I may very well put it up.
I want to add one more thing to this too,
Sure.
because this also assumes that your friends read in the same genre that you write,
Yeah.
enjoy the same stories that you
Yeah.
write. Um, I don't know, or maybe the thing really is, I don't care if you read it, just buy it. Like, give me money, bitch.
Yeah, and she says this. She says, "Well, if my friend makes mugs, I'll buy the mugs, even if I don't use
Yeah,
the mugs."
yeah.
Look, maybe you only have, like, very fine porcelain that you drink your tea out of with your pinky extended, and you will never use this, homespun, rough-hewn mug, but if that's what you wanna do, that's the kind of person that you are, and that's fine, but you can't expect everybody to be that way too.
I'll just put this out here now. If and when my book is ever published,
Mhm.
it's, Megan, I will just completely throw you out of my life if you don't
Uh,
buy it.
that's what I figured. I mean, God,
The
just
podcast will be over.
over, like, almost 20 years of friendship done. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
It's been almost 20 years. We're closing in on it. It's,
it's
like,
nuts.
18
Yeah.
years this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. See, the internet can do beautiful things. It can bring full-blown haters like Kirk and me together, different parts of the country, and bring us together to hate other people, not in this podcast, but in our other earlier
Yeah.
incarnations.
This is our nice personalities coming out
Yes, this
for
is
this
this is this is
podcast.
our very nice one with all the flare buttons, and we're very good. We said some trolly things in the past, and that's okay. We got it out of our system.
That's right.
Yes, it's the equivalent of, like, writing it in the document that contains all of my hate. So and it's 'cause sometimes you do gotta just get it out of your system, but just don't fucking let it see the light of day unless you are ready to be excoriated by Kirk and me, because we will see it on Threads. Also,
Exactly.
please post it on Threads, because that's where I go looking for this kind of shit. I don't look for it on Bluesky. Everybody's so freaking nice for the most part.
I know. What is
So,
wrong with those
I
people?
don't know. I'm also one of those nice people on Bluesky.
I am too. I
I
am
know
too.
you're even nicer than I am. I'm pretty nice. But yeah, no.
I did, just last week, I actually did take somebody to task and they blocked me immediately,
That's
which
true. I remember that. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry we were egging each other on. It was like, "Karen, do it." So it's
I stand by it though.
no,
I stand by it.
you were totally correct. You were totally correct. And because you were blocked, but I was able to still see these posts. And it was just, and you were using an alt able to see these posts. And yeah, Bad Lit Friends does not endorse using alts. It's very bad. But I was able to see it because I was not blocked. And this person was just making up shit to make himself look better. That I have been so put upon by this other author and he just doesn't understand. And no, he understood completely what you were saying, and what you're saying was crap. And, if you are going to if you are going to put something out on the internet, be ready to have somebody totally misunderstand what you're trying to say, or completely understand what you said and think that what you said was trash. So, so take that mindset whenever you post that you, if your real name is attached to it, think about it. Think about it. That's,
Yes.
yeah. So, but before you press publish. So, main takeaways for comps: 2 to 3 recent traditionally published books that share elements with yours. You need to apply what I've thought of as the Goldilocks rule. So, not too big, not too small,
Mhm.
just right.
And if we didn't answer some question you might have about comps, feel free to reach out and ask it. We'll do we'll find somebody who knows the real answer.
So our next episode, we are going to be talking about rejection letters.
Yeah, query rejections.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And we're going to do this kind of in a conversational way, a little free form. We're going to talk about our own rejections and what they taught us about our own work,
Mhm.
and what to look out for, and why form rejections don't actually have to hurt. I will do a little teaser. When I get a form rejection, I laugh
Do you
because I'm
really?
like, yeah, I do. Because it's like, you
I
cared.
curl up in a corner and sob.
I just go, cared enough to give me one of your 3 templates, which I know about
Right?
because I'm on Query Tracker. I'm
Yeah.
just curious which flavor I got. Okay, I'm looking forward to this one.
I'll even dig out a couple of my best rejections.
Ouch. You're
And
brave
when
with
I
it.
say best, I mean worst.
Yeah, I'll go through and I'll see what I have. It's gonna be deeply painful. So, until then, you can find us on all of the socials at Bad Lit Friends everywhere. We are on Blue Sky, full of nice people. We are on Instagram, where we sometimes remember to post things, but mostly not. We are on evil, 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 wonderful Threads. And we are also remembering to enable the YouTube for video versions of these as well. So you can find us on YouTube. We are also available on all major podcast platforms. And please continue to rate, review, comment, whatever. We love to see them. Help us, help us make, help us win a few more fake awards for the year 2026.
For
'Cause,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
we deserve it.
We love the fakies.
We do. As we said in our last episode, we are eligible for the FIFA Peace Prize. And when you get yours, you can give it to us because apparently
Yeah,
there is now a precedent for giving
yeah,
away peace prizes. So give it to us. We definitely
for
deserve
sure.
it. But until next time, we will see you then.
Bye.